In Walmart's Who Newville, everyone ready their cart. Amazing Black Friday deals are about to start. Online and in the app, such great deals to explore. Everything you love from tech, toys, and more. The days to save and the ones to remember. It's only the 25th to the 30th of November. Set your alarms. Don't miss out. These deals are epic, without a doubt. The Who's are all ready, but are you? Walmart Black Friday deals await. Who knew?
Hi, I'm here to pick up my son Milo.
There's no Milo here.
Who picked up my son from school?
Streaming only on Peacock.
I'm gonna need the name of everyone that could have a connection.
You don't understand. It was just the 5 of us.
So this was all planned.
What are you gonna do? I will do whatever it takes to get my son back.
I honestly didn't see this coming. These nice people killing each other.
All Her Fault. A new series streaming now only on Peacock.
Meet the computer you can talk to. With Copilot on Windows, working, creating, and collaborating is as easy as talking. Got writer's block? Share your screen with Copilot Vision to help spark inspiration, and use Copilot Voice to have a conversation and brainstorm ideas. Or maybe you need some tech help. With Copilot Vision, Copilot sees what you see. Let Copilot talk you through step-by-step guidance so you can master new apps, games, and skills faster. Try now at windows.com/Copilot.
At LinkedIn, we know hiring is a big deal for your small business. Sometimes it can feel a little overwhelming. LinkedIn uses data that you can't find anywhere else to give you the best candidates, all so you can feel confident you're hiring the best person for the job. And even a little hiring bliss. See why 86% of small businesses who post a job on LinkedIn get a qualified candidate within a day. Post a job for free at linkedin.com/achieve. LinkedIn, your next great hire is here.
Purina believes no one should have to make the impossible choice between their own safety and their pets. But nearly half of domestic abuse survivors delay leaving because they can't bring their pets with them. Through the Purple Leash Project, Purina is helping create more pet-friendly domestic violence shelters so survivors and their pets can escape and heal together. Visit Purina.com/purple to learn more.
Breaking news are happening now.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Reality Flash. My name is Mike Bloom, and I'm here to bring you the flashiest breaking news in the wild world of reality TV. But first, you know, I would never be one to fish for likes. That'd be something villainous to do in a manner of speaking. But I am always looking for subs and tips, baby. So make sure you go to therealityflash.com and subscribe, rate, and review the podcast as it's there. Again, don't be debaucherous and one-star any of this stuff. And if you have any tips that you want to send my way, no solicitations, just tips at therealityflash.com. Again, just tips at therealityflash.com. On Wednesday, May 28th, the reality world was shocked to find news breaking incredibly early of a season of reality TV filming with an all-star cast in 2026 would have its cast announced alarmingly early in the summer. And there's also Survivor 50's cast being announced, because the one I'm talking about right now is House of Villains Season 3, really coming out of nowhere, blindsiding us Survivor style with the announcement of its Season 3 all-star reality cast shortly before it films. And of course, I'll be here to break down all the biggest news from this big cast of characters. And I am not alone, because I would be nowhere near close to knowing anything about this new group of baddies they're about to enter the game if I didn't get a chance to talk with the two people behind all of our coverage of House of Villains here on We Know Reality TV. We were last on here talking about Got to Get Out, but now we got to get in to House of Villains Season 3. Let me first welcome in, of course, the great Chappell. Chappell, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. I'm good, and I'm feeling particularly villainous today. You know, it's just something about today has just got my villainous blood boiling a little bit. I'm so excited to talk about this cast of crazy characters, and of course, I'm happy and excited to be back and reunited with two most chaotic people that I know, in you and Jenny.
Exactly. Listen, this is our Witch's Coven in a manner of speaking of, speaking of famous villains. And as you mentioned, the third today, though she is first in all of our hearts, is Jenny Autumn.
Oh my goodness. I'm so pumped. I'm surprised. I was not anticipating. Listen, I had no surprises earlier today. And then had my feelings, went about my day, and then, all of a sudden a bomb was dropped, and I am almost speechless, but I need to get over the speechlessness because we have to talk about this. I'm very, very excited to be here with both of you. What a day. What a time.
Yeah, the surprise cannot be overstated here because, look, especially in our corner of the reality TV internet, a lot of lip service was obviously, understandably, and deservedly paid to the Survivor 50 cast announcement that happened today. It was announced that it was coming. Maybe rumors were about the cast that was about to be announced by Jeff in the morning. And we thought, all right, that's the vast amount of reality TV casting news that we're facing today. But of course, like with any good villain, there was a twist involved. And it turns out that in the afternoon, Peacock had revealed the cast of season 3 of House of Villains. And similarly to Survivor 50, and even going back to what happened with the Traitors last year, it really does seem like a lot of these all-star reality shows are implementing this formula of the early cast release. That essentially they are saying, look, we're internet savvy enough to know that there are people out there, Vera style, with their little birds finding out everything about this cast. Let us, the network, be the ones to own this cast release. And so we know that the cast of House of Villains is about to go into sequester, I believe, to film things. But, Chappell, there has been no, at least from my research, determined start date for this series. We assume it's coming in 2026. So, yet again, much like Survivor 50, we have a show announcing its cast at least 6-7 months ahead of time.
And you have to wonder why that is. House of Villains definitely could have waited. Survivor is trying to get in front of like the spoilers. There's so many alumni wrapped up in the Survivor community, and they're going to talk when they come back because Coach has no scruples. But as far as House of Villains goes, it's not the most anticipated cast, but what they did was so villainous. They decided to just kind of step all over the Survivor cast release for no other reason but to say, yeah, don't look at them, look at us. And I think that is so on brand for a show called House of Villains that said, hey, we got survivors too. We got other people too. We got people that you love to hate, and nobody is complaining about the House of Villains cast. So yeah, we might not get the show until next year, but they're going to make sure that the show drops around the same time as Survivor 2. I think we're now in like one-on-one competition with Survivor 50, and Jenny and I are the House of Villains know-it-alls to combat Rob and Steven. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing, Jenny. It's like it feels like House of Villains and its cast announcement was much like some famous villains 15 years ago trying to break the shoulder of the Survivor 50 cast announcement.
Listen, I'm not going to be mad about this. Obviously we had some little whispers of news. We obviously had heard, well, maybe not obviously. If you're not real, I'm not super tuned in. But I pay attention to House of Villains when I see someone talking about House of Villains. That's one of my little babies. I love it. Mm-hmm. And so there was news that it was going to be moving to Peacock in the new year. I believe that what I had heard was that it would be like January-ish. And that's different than the previous 2 seasons, which were on E! Mm-hmm. I believe. And it's like October.
And a lot of the people behaved like they were on E! as well.
Yeah.
They were rolling.
Yes. And it was like, as you got into spooky season, it was like Scorpio season. Let's let the villains out. And I believe both of those seasons aired in October. So when I found out like this wasn't even going to be airing till January, I was like, little birds were talking, little peacocks were talking. But I didn't expect we were going to get any sort of official cast for many months to come, especially because, like Chappell said, people are not following this super closely like they are with Survivor. Mm-hmm. So this could have easily gone under the radar. They are not away for near as long. I'm pretty sure they based on what we've seen from previous seasons, have their phones. Like, they are not like, segregated from society whatsoever. This easily could have been a secret, but no, they said, we are going to be villains. The internet is upset about a cast. Let's give them something to be happy about. And I'm happy. I wasn't unhappy in the first place, but I'm really happy.
All right. Well, I'm sure there are plenty that, given the caliber of this cast, which we'll get into, they're coming in from various corners of fandoms, perhaps for the first time to watch House of Villains, especially given, to your point, Jenny, the fact that it is moving over to Peacock, which is wild to say that, a streaming service has more eyes on it and virality than an actual cable network that people are paying money for. But it's true. I mean, with the Traitors in particular and that first season of Dondi, which the two of you covered, like, Peacock has become one of the most prolific streaming services when it comes to reality TV. And so they're hoping to maybe, the tide will raise maybe the boat that is House of Villains in its third season. So for the uninitiated, Chappell, what is the format of House of Villains?
Jenny and I like to joke that it's basically like Big Brother. You normally have a super villain,
which also contains a lot of villains as well. By season's end.
Many of them will end up on House of Villains at one point or another. We keep this.
That's
going
why we
got
to get reps from them.
Yeah, exactly. if we keep this going along long enough, then we'll at least have the entire cast of BB-15 on, and that'll be the only time they'll ever be seen on TV again. You get a super villain of the week. The super villain of the week has to put up people for elimination. They compete in their elimination challenge that I do not remember what it's called now, but they compete in that. And then
redemption challenge.
The redemption challenge, sure. Yeah, sure. And then they end up going to the super villain lair.
The name is not important.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the point is the super villain of the week chooses 2 people to go for elimination. The rest of the people have to decide on who will be eliminated via vote, and then they sit in this evil super villain chair in the lair, and then they are ejected through the wall as they are eliminated from the competition. And it starts just like I said, like Big Brother. Sometimes you have the opportunity to save yourself. I think there's normally 3 nominees, and then 1 can come off the block, but then you have 2 that will remain up there to get voted for. And then by the end, we get some type of jury vote that will allow us to crown the supervillain of the season. And we've had some really interesting moments in House of Villains, to say the least, with some of these vote-offs, Mike.
Yeah, I would say that probably, Jenny, one of the most entertaining jury vote outcomes I've seen in recent memory, without saying too much, came from the last episode of House of Villains that aired, the season 2 finale.
Yeah, you have some time to catch up if you are the uninitiated here. I would personally suggest watching both seasons because I think they were both special in their own ways. But especially the outcome of season 2, some of the things that occurred, especially in that finale, should be talked about for years to come, in my opinion, in the reality TV sphere. So I personally think that it's required watching, especially like all it takes is to have a vested interest or familiarity with one person. Mm-hmm. Because the great thing about House of Villains is it really is like a chaotic love letter to reality TV. Like they are not limiting their picks to just one area. It's not all competition reality TV. And the definition of villain is really up for interpretation and becomes like this like meta feeling of the season where you're like, you get to the end and you're like, okay, it's kind of like Big Brother. It's got some Survivor-esque elements. It's a competition reality show where eventually people who have been eliminated are going to get to decide who wins. But what is the criteria? Because with normal people who, maybe their persona is more about being a hero, just a regular nice person, you might think a certain type of person would win and people will vote a certain way. And when you get all of these really big characters, big egos, and this theme of villainy and what it means to be a villain and whether that's a good thing or what kind of villain. Like, it just really becomes this interesting conversation of what you reward, and I think it just really results in some interesting choices and endings, and I don't know, I think it's very fun. But all it takes is one person. If you're familiar with just one show and you're like, I want to see this crazy person interact with a bunch of other crazy reality TV people that I would never expect to see in a room together, House of Villains is for you.
All right. Well, let's get into this group of 11 people, and hopefully people have that one person and then some, because this is a really intriguing group to me. I think that maybe compared to previous seasons, we are veering more into like the social strategy camp. I mean, that's been very fun to follow with House of Villains, as well as like the people that are not from the competition side of things, trying to get into the more strategic elements of the game, and some of them succeeding and some of them not so much. But let's break down each one of these 11 cast members and how excited we are to see them back on our screens. And I think we should start with maybe one of the chief among them. I don't want to presume on behalf of the two of you, but look, there was a lot of news about 24 previous Survivor contestants going off on another adventure on our screens in 2026. And here is number 25, as four-time player Tyson Apostol will be our Survivor representative on season 3 of House of Villains.
We win.
We won.
We win.
It's up, y'all.
So
we did it. I'm so used to giving, and now it's our time to receive.
I mean, this is absolutely fantastic. From the jump, obviously, Tyson has undergone a huge amount of, personal life shifts throughout his 4 times on Survivor, most specifically in Survivor Blood versus Water, the season that he won. It was pretty wild to see the guy who we saw in Token Chains back in 2009, gloat about making people cry and dancing naked with the immunity necklace as a headdress, weep over the fact that his girlfriend got voted out and sent out of Redemption Island. But he was able to, find a heart and find $1 million along the way. Tyson had an incredibly memorable, if not dominant, stint on the Challenge USA that ended on quite a sour note. And for a while, I think people were waiting to see what would Tyson do next. Would he be on Survivor 50? Would he try something else like a Traitors? And Chappell, this is the next stop for him. This is officially his return to reality TV for the first time in a few years.
Tyson could do the Traitors, but it wouldn't fit like Tyson doing House of Villains. So he comes from the villains tribe in Survivor. So we've already stamped him as a villain. I think there is no mistaking Tyson as anything but a villain in his first stint on Token Chains as well. But going to the Traitors would be such a waste for Tyson because it's not wacky. It's not fun. It's a lot of just like, they take it very seriously. This here, no. This is perfect. Watching Tyson interact with some of the people on this cast is going to be iconic television. He's one of the funniest people that I've ever seen play Survivor. Yes. And I just cannot wait to see what happens next now that we have Tyson Apostol back on our screen.
Yeah. What do you think, Jenny?
I'm so happy. I would watch Tyson do any show, but I completely agree with Chappell that and then I made a similar point when we saw Parvati return to TV on our beloved Dondi. And we discussed her stint on the Traitors. And I truly felt like it just wasn't the right fit for her.
It's and that
cold. Exactly. And I kind of feel like in a different way, because the point I made is that, Parvati thrives in the heat. She needs a bikini, and that's how she unleashes her power. And I kind of feel like similarly about Tyson, but for different reasons. And that I just feel like he needs a setting where he can just be Tyson. Whereas on the Traitors, you kind of have to play a character. You have to play this Scottish murder mystery. You have to wear a fancy hat, and it's got this intense seriousness, which I think it would be actually there's a part of me that think it would be kind of funny to see Tyson in that setting. But I really feel like in a show like House of Villains, you are meant to embrace all of the character traits that made you who you are on reality TV, who made you what made the name for you. And also Tyson interacting with and commenting on other kooky characters of like different types is like, that is just gold. Like that is just basically, you know, he's going to be churning out content just by the sheer fact of him having to play with such other big characters. So I really think that this is a place where he will thrive, and I'm just so ready. I'm just so ready for it.
Now, it feels like in the first couple seasons of House of Villains, and I will loosely spoil stuff from the first 2 seasons, so if you don't want to necessarily find out those details, skip ahead about a minute or so. But it does feel like we have sort of had an archetype in seasons 1 and 2, ironically enough, filled by guys from both the same show, The Challenge, in the form of Johnny Bananas and Wes, who were able to utilize a lot of their strategic, bases to really run a lot of the game behind the scenes, only to come up short in the end in a jury vote. Given Tyson's extensive background on the island, and there might be a couple other people on the cast that we could talk about that could also occupy that slot, but Chappell, do you think there's a chance that Tyson could do what those two couldn't do and scheme his way to an actual win in the end?
Absolutely, because Tyson has won a jury vote. I don't think anybody has ever looked at Johnny Bananas and thought he's going to win a popularity contest. No disrespect to him. I like Wes a lot, but there was a ton of reasons why Wes could have been the loser last season when it came down to it. And we saw some very iconic moments with him and some of his jury management. Tyson is a seasoned veteran. He has been on the jury. He has beat the jury by winning the votes to win Survivor. So he's done it all. I mean, he's been pre-jury as well. So like Tyson has seen it all. And so I think that if no one else knows how to manage these personalities and still get them to like them in the end, it would be Tyson.
I fully agree. Mike, I thought you were maybe, manifesting something, like you were trying to say like, oh, is he gonna have the same fate as Johnny Bananas and Wes? And I said, don't you put that negative energy out into the universe. Absolutely not. I truly, beyond being extremely entertaining, villainous enough that he has he was on the Villains Trap. He has given us some very iconic moments that you could say that that's a villain, but he is extremely charismatic, extremely likable, like the kind of guy that you can't even people that are even against him, I don't think that they could truly dislike him or be mad at him. There's just something about his energy that is really disarming for people. And I think that I don't know, I think that people maybe not these days are talking enough about how good his social game is. We all know how hilarious he is, how entertaining he is, but this man is so charismatic. And I think that if we look back at how the last 2 seasons of House of Villains have gone, being super strategic and leaning too hard into the villainous world of being a social strategist without the finesse of a really good social game as well will not serve you. And even though they're all labeled as villains and they come into this knowing that, these people are still going to gravitate to people like Tyson that are likable. So I do think that he has some special sauce that I think that he could do it. He definitely has the tools. He's got the whole package.
Well, I wanted to talk about Tyson at the top here, but otherwise I'm going to go through the cast in the order that they were presented on Deadline when that publication announced the cast. So it's only understandable that they started and we move on to who has become essentially not only an institution of reality TV, but specifically an institution on House of Villains, because Jenny, Tiffany New York Pollard is 3 for 3 in House of Villains appearances.
They did the right thing, okay?
Look at the material. You
She's
can be the judge.
The Kenan Thompson of House of Villains. She'll never leave.
And she deserves.
It's her house, it's her world. We are simply just living in it. And I think that I would be greatly disappointed if she wasn't on this cast. I think that this is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that this is necessary because Tiffany New York Pollard and the energy that she brings will always make this show better. And now that we're going to get a third run of it, do it every goddamn season. I don't
Every
care.
time.
Yeah,
I don't
make it
care.
Tiffany New York Pollard presents House of Villains moving forward.
And why not? And why not?
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
No
Mike,
complaints on my end.
last season, like we've been watching an evolution of Tiffany New York Pollard in the House of Villains house. Jenny and I talked about it 2 seasons ago. She came in, she was New York. She was a big personality, but she wasn't long for the game. Last season, New York got a social game. She got a social game. Like there were moments where me and Jenny were like, can she pull it off? Can she pull it off? Or does she need a little extra? Does she need a little bit of time to charge up on her docking station and get the goods to come in next round and win the game? And now she's back for round 3. Like I feel like she's learning and she's growing and she's becoming better and better and better. And she's learning at the knee of these reality TV competition superstars, Johnny Bananas, Wes. Like she's surrounded by people who can play the game. Jesse Goddard was there. Like now she has Tyson. This woman is going to leave House of Villains one day and go win Survivor or something. Like she is becoming a monster of a beast of a competitor in the House of Villains, and I'm so happy she's back.
Listen, the improvement in placing from season 1 to season 2 alone, she might just win. She might
just win. Yeah.
And no matter what, I am seated for the journey.
New York is in the mother effing House of Villains.
Yeah. I can't wait to see who she does not vibe with and who I called it freaking last season. This was before I knew that her and Wes had met each other and done Worst Cooks in America. I felt it. I said these two, that I think that this is the power duo that I want and need, and I see it. And it happened. And so, but this, I haven't had enough time to digest how I feel about her in this cast. So like, obviously as a big Tyson fan, I'm like, please, like let Tyson be the Wes here. But it could go either way. You never know with New York. And that's what makes this so great is like, you don't know which way it's going to go, but you know it's going to be a good time.
Well, someone who, again, she might surprise us. She might spit in the face of our prediction here, but I would imagine the person she might get along with the least, at least initially here, is someone who is, you would say on his own redemption tour, but he is appearing on House of Villains. It's the womanizer, the doll singer himself, Tom Sandoval. Chappell.
Sandoval is back. You know what? Redemption is crazy, but it's so accurate. Tom Sandoval went into the Traitors and people were like, boo this man. Boo this man and everything that we know about him, everything he stands on. But then toward the end, you could kind of squint and see people being able to appreciate Tom Sandoval for a game player or a character. There were definitely moments where everybody but Dolores was like, I think we can live with him. Queen Dolores was like, absolutely not, never, not on my watch. But yeah, Tom Sandoval had quite the redemption arc, and I think he's now embracing his villainous persona. I think for a while, one of the reasons why people hated him is because he was like trying to gaslight us, like we didn't know that he sucked.
Right.
But now Tom's like, no, I did some awful things. I'm trying to be better, but I am a villain. And you guys.
I mean, you remember what he said at that one round table on the Traitors when he talked about women?
Yeah, exactly. This guy sucks, but like he's trying to make a comeback, and I appreciate that we get a character like Tom Sandoval because everybody likes somebody to root against.
And on these casts, we always need like a douchebag representative.
Yeah,
season 1 had his former VPR cast member Jax Taylor fill in that slot.
Yes, he did.
Right.
Yes, he
and
did.
Also you might argue Shake kind of filled the like because you need the people from the shows where like they're kind of like a douchebag in their personal life to women, like kind of like a misogynist. We need one of those kinds of villains, and I think we might have two at least on this cast. So we needed someone to fill that role, and I think after watching him on the Traitors, I can't wait to see him sweat through many more t-shirts. And I think that he really leans into the role. Watching him get so intense and into it in the Traitors and just be loud and wrong most of the time, really fun. He really took it seriously, and I hope that we get this on House of Villains as well, because I love nothing more than when we get someone on one of these shows where it's like the Avengers of reality TV personalities.
This is more like the Thunderbolts.
Sure. As not I'm not well versed in any of that, but yes. And then someone flops. Like, you can tell the heart is not in it. Like, that sucks. I truly hope and feel good about based on how it went on the Traitors, because when I saw he was on the Traitors, I was like, what are we doing here? And then he ended up being he delivered in a way, in his own way. He created content
in his way.
Yeah. And that's all I can ask. I'd rather, come and be weird and make moments. That's fine. Better than just being there and being like, you're just taking up somebody else's space. So I hope that, Tom Sandoval is going to bring that same energy. Maybe there will be some dolls in the house to sing to. Yes. The idea of him, talking to New York is God. I can't even. She's going to hate this man.
She's going to hate him. She probably already does. Like, she probably already hates him.
She knows. Oh, she knows. Yeah.
Well,
and if she doesn't, she'll learn.
This is a cast that I'm excited to continue to dig into, but there were some people that over the course of watching them in their respective reality shows, I thought, okay, there's a chance they might come back for a House of Villains. I'll be completely honest, of the known qualities, this casting choice surprised the heck out of me, because we saw them in two incredibly long, intense back-to-back summers, and it seemed like they left the game, for lack of a better term, pretty gumpy, to the point that I never thought we'd see them back on reality TV. Chappell, it is the return of Paul Abrahamian, two-time Big Brother runner-up.
I talked about how Tyson knows how to manage a jury. Meet Paul.
Paul has to come in second again. They have to come in second.
Oh my God. And they have to wear the same shirt. Okay. So Paul played Big Brother the first time, and people were like, we want more Paul. Personally, I was good. I was good on the Paul experiment. I said, I've seen enough. They brought them back, for the second season. And Paul ran that house like none other. You want to talk about a cult?
Yeah.
People were falling all over Paul, trying to get to the end. I mean, it was crazy. You even had Christmas at the end, convinced that she was in love with Paul. She's like, do I love him? Is everything okay? We got scenes on the actual show of Christmas being like, I think I love Paul, and Paul being completely oblivious, if not just a little afraid of Christmas too by that time.
Well, Christmas is prone to falling in love in the Big Brother house.
The fact that she's not on a season of House of Villains is baffling.
Not yet.
But yeah, Paul gets a bad rep because they ran the game so intensely. Had everybody fighting. Everybody was against each other. Then they got to the end and they all colluded and said, nah, we're not going to reward Paul. Paul's worse than all of us. We might have been doing all the fighting, but Paul was the one who set it up. And so we will punish
friendship
Paul.
Was a lie.
Right. There was friendship bracelets. There was catchphrases. And at the end of the day, they said, we'd rather give the money to Josh Martinez than Paul. And so Paul is back for redemption. But like I said, I don't know how Paul does up against a jury vote, even in front of villains.
There's no one happier about this than me. I will guarantee you that. I am an unapologetic
Gasp.
Paul stan. I know. Chappell
Not
always has my number.
Not Jenny.
Day one. And I can admit that Paul deserved to lose both times. Big issue that they face when they face a jury is not owning up to things. Kind of acting, the usual mistakes when facing a jury. If you've played a villainous game, not owning it, gaslighting people, continuing to gaslight people at the point where you just have to own your shit. And I think that both games were very, very impressive, and I never thought that I would see the day where Paul would play a game again, because after two final two, not even a final three situation, you have just to beat one person in the final two chairs on Big Brother 2 summers in a row in the same damn t-shirt, like Chappell said.
With the same vote count, wasn't it?
With the same vote count. Just like, that's demoralizing. And I think, after that experience, you probably go, damn, like,
piss.
This isn't for me. Piss. Yeah. Very gumpy. Very gumpy.
Very
not
gumpy.
friendship.
Not friendship.
I
Not friendship at all.
love that someone whose catchphrase was friendship is we are now embracing villain. You are on House of Villains. I'm very, very excited. I honestly, like, Paul's someone who of the Big Brother community, not super involved.
No, very much divorced themselves, given a lot of very understandable consternation. Like Chappell, yes, you talk about a lot of the pack tendencies they were using. They also did at one point try to rile people up to try to, prod somebody to the point that they
wanted to trigger the PTSD in this military veteran.
In a Marine, so that he would subsequently hit one of them and get expelled from the house. And look, the Marine in question, not a great person either. So it really was a race to the bottom there.
Right. But Paul
two wrongs making a right.
Paul, I was like, sometimes Paul was right. But anyway, so that's the thing. Paul is a villain in Big Brother, but I don't think Paul is a villain in life. And so I'm very excited to see Paul kind of embrace the villainous side and go up against somebody like a Tyson, who is also probably a great person in real life, but has those villainous tendencies in a game like this. And so I'm so excited. I was like, I was not the biggest Paul person. I wasn't. But then the more I got of Paul, by the end, I was like, anybody but Josh Martinez. So here we are.
Yeah, I mean, Paul has also gone through a big journey since being on TV. At this point, 8 years ago, with their sexuality and gender, they've come out as non-binary in the time since. I know they've worked a lot on their music. So, yeah, I mean, as you mentioned before, Jenny, there are some of these rare characters who come on, like a Jax, who's like, but I'm not a villain. And Paul might be one of those soft souls who is saying, like, that's who I was, but who I am now is completely different. Or it could just be business as usual, feeding the flames, and before we know it, they're continuing to write checks that will not get cashed in the favor of $1 million or whatever they win on House of Villains.
Yeah, and that's what's fascinating. That's what's fascinating about the return of Paul to reality TV, because it really could go either way. We don't really have a window into how they've been feeling about their own progression. How they would play a game now in 2025 to be airing in 2026. And I, maybe the thought process is I played long form Big Brother with a bunch of
meatballs,
normies, a bunch of meatballs, and some self-righteous people, and I maybe did some dirty things to try to snatch that win, and they didn't like it. But if I'm playing a game that's basically like a compressed version of a Big Brother game with experienced people that are wacky in their own right, and we are all embracing the fact that we are villains, maybe this is the time where, you know, my flavor will finally work. And I could see it. I honestly could see it, because the thing about Paul and why they were so successful to getting to the end in both seasons was, again, social game, magnetism, charisma, very, very well liked, really good personality. Like that stuff does matter in these games, even in House of Villains. And we see people where, like, on these shows where they're like, yeah, like they're kind of a villain, but like they're not going into every room and like, you know, picking fights just for fun. Those people, it's hard for them to win, even on a game like House of Villains. I actually do think that Paul could pull this off, but it's just such a big question mark for me, because I just don't have a window into like, I just really did not expect to see Paul on reality TV again. So it's really a big question mark to see if it's going to be a return to business as usual, and what they've learned, because that's a long amount of time, you know, playing these intense games 2 summers in a row in your 20s, in your like early 20s. I don't know,
probably
how
something
old.
like that. Yeah,
I want to say probably early 20s. A lot changes, you know, as you get out of those like late 20s into your 30s. And as someone who hasn't been like, I live and breathe reality TV and this is my whole identity, I truly hope that we get a Paul that's like ready to like actually play the game, and it like sparks something in them and they have fun with it. I would hate to see, you know, them come in and be like, yeah, I'm actually realizing quickly I'm not into this anymore. I thought that maybe this would be fun, but these people are wacky and I'm out.
It's a little gumpy.
Yeah. Point of clarification, Paul was 23 and 24 when they played on Big Brother. So a lot of time has passed. Let's see what the late 20s Paul looks like.
Hello, I'm Diane Morgan. If you know who I am, you know who I am. If you don't, who cares? I'm here to explain Italian Time, a holiday phenomenon where Italians throw away their clocks and gather for eternity with San Pellegrino. I've been at this party so long that I've eaten 5 courses, hugged someone's grandma twice, and been offered a job in the family restaurant. So this holiday season, make sure to bring enough San Pellegrino to last you through the meal, the after meal, and the entire goodbye ritual. San Pellegrino, holiday on Italian Time.
Kraft mac and cheese is the best thing ever. It's even better than pop music. You look just as natural enjoying us at age 13 as you do 55. Kraft mac and cheese. Best thing ever.
Oh, Hilton stay. Your beds are soft and cozy. No lumpy couch, no stiff futon, no shower line at crack of dawn. Oh, Hilton stay.
When you want holiday comfort you can count on, it matters where you stay. Enjoy comfortable rooms and friendly service when you stay with Hilton instead. Save up to 25% this season when you book with Hilton. Hilton for the stay. Terms apply.
This episode is brought to you by McAfee. Swimsuit, passport, phone, with VPN activated.
VPN?
Cell phone service is going to be spotty on vacation, so we'll be using public Wi-Fi.
Sounds sketchy.
Exactly. The networks can leave your personal info, like credit card numbers, exposed to hackers.
McAfee's secure VPN lets you browse and bank safely from wherever, whenever. Learn more at McAfee.com/online protection.
Abercrombie Kids is bringing the cheer all holiday season. And winter break means it's time for new outfits that are both festive and comfy. The last thing they need? New cozy coats for every occasion. Celebrate the season with Abercrombie Kids in the app, online, and in stores.
Now let's move from somebody who is a known quantity, but might be a little bit of a regretful villain, to more of an unknown quality in our world, but someone who, from my research, fully knew that she was the villain on Selling Sunset and played it up until the cows came home. This is Christine Quinn. Now, I think a lot of us that follow a lot of these shows would primarily know Selling Sunset from Chriselle Staus, who recently showed up on this most recent season of The Traitors alongside Tom Sandoval. And it seems like from what I've looked up, Chappell, Christina was essentially Chriselle's ops. Just someone that she was one of these villains that seemed more in like the Courtney Yates mold of just like, she's very mean and blunt and cutting and funny in confessionals.
Yeah, so I've watched a little bit of Selling Sunset, so I have met this person. But the thing about Christine is that she is gold, okay? TV gold, all right? If people liked what they saw on The Traitors, this is like you said, this is the ops to that. This is going to be like hypocritical. It's going to piss you off because she's going to do everything that she can to get the attention of the camera. She's going to say the thing. She's a villain and she knows it, you know, and that's the thing. What at some point she's not going to embrace it, and that's going to piss you off too. But I love it because she is self-aware. She gets it. She's in on the joke, and she's going to lean in and make sure that the camera knows that she is the villain to watch here. I would love this because I think that when people watch Christine, the thing that's going to piss them off the most is that she's going to be like, me? Who, me? I did this? When in reality, yeah, you did this, and you know exactly what you're doing. I'm very excited to see Christine Quinn here.
Jenny, any thoughts about Christine?
Yeah, so I am so like entranced by this lady. There is something so so dark about her energy, but like in a fun way. Like this woman seems to have no issue calling anyone on their bullshit, but in a way where I don't know. I just feel like there was times, and we loved Queen Victoria last season. And we remembered, you know, her stint on The Bachelor where, you know, she was kind of on the outs with everyone and everyone had an issue with her. I kind of like see similarities with Christine in that like anyone can get it. And she like has no problem, you know, like standing on business with people. But the difference here is that I don't feel like there's any like she's not having any issues of like self-confidence or like questioning like her position on things. This really just is giving like badass bitch energy. Like I am not a Selling Sunset aficionado, but you know, I've watched enough clips of this woman to be like, watch the F out. Because I don't think that she's gonna be necessarily like the person that gets into a fight and then is in the next room crying about it.
Yeah.
I think that she will go to toe to toe and have no issue with that. So I think that it could be very, very fun. And some of the commentary I've seen from people that are a lot more like familiar with Christine and her work are just like, these people are not going to know what hit them with this woman, which is music to my ears.
All right, let's move in to our next person here. And everyone at this point, especially the Peacock aficionados amongst us, know our way around Kate Chastain, of course, with her 2 seasons, technically 3 seasons of appearances on The Traitors, from being the faithful in season 1 to becoming the last traitor standing in season 2. But Chappell, you knew her when she was just but a lowly bosun on Below Deck.
This just is Chief Stew, baby. This is Kate. Killer Kate. Oh man, I'm happy. I loved watching everybody kind of get a load of Kate when she came on to The Traitors. I think they brought her back for the, you know, like some cameos, because this lady is so good at being a villain. But to me, Kate's not really a villain. To me, she's like, a lot of times, like, she's saying what I'm thinking, you know? And so I think that's the powerful thing about Kate, is that you root for Kate. I think there's a lot of villains that you root against. I think Kate is not one of those people, even in The Traitors, where she's basically throwing a fit and deciding, I'm not doing any of these challenges anymore. Y'all are just going to vote me out anyway, so I'm not helping. And just moving her way through the episodes every week with someone accusing her of being a traitor, and yet she's still here. And so I can't. No notes. Kate Chastain should have been on here earlier. I love her.
Yeah, Jenny, were you talked about with our last person, someone that would not be afraid to, go tip-top toes with somebody. Kate Chastain will call out the fashion sense of anyone who comes into her warpath, as we saw with Rachel Riley.
Yeah, and that's, to Chappell's point, it's like, are we just a villain if we are, just saying the quiet part out loud?
Right.
Because
Lock her up
I
for
think
being
that
real.
half the time that's her only crime. No, I think that this is a really, really fun choice. My head is spinning thinking about her interacting with some of these people. Like she has been allowed to be on in some capacity every season of the US Traitors thus far. And so she was at least present with Tom Sandoval there. I have no idea if they've really interacted much I'm sure they've crossed paths. I can't wait to hear her eviscerate him. It's going to be I'm gonna record it and listen to it before I go to bed every night. Like it's gonna
affirmations.
be truly. I have no complaints. I just hope that she has material to work with. That's all you need. Like
fashion material.
She can just be who she is. Give her stuff to work with, and we will be fine. This is a perfect choice. And Peacock, you keep bringing her back on anything you want, babe.
That's the thing. This is slowly becoming the Kate Chastain network, and I'm not entirely mad at it.
No, not at all. I would love to see what it looks like when Kate and Christine Quinn interact as well, because Christine is like the queen of the mean girl energy, and Kate doesn't have that energy to me. Kate is the one who's like, she's bullying the bullies, and so that's why I love Kate. Man, this is gonna be good. I'm so excited.
Well, we mentioned before how some people on House of Villains, you just need at certain points that out-and-out capital A asshole on the show. And Sandoval certainly fit the bill, but maybe to your earlier point, we have doubled up here. Let's talk about Johnny Middlebrooks. And Johnny mainly has his claim to fame from a villainy perspective, but in a major way, at least from my POV, on Love Island Games a couple of years ago, which, true to the sort of weird disparate nature of the title, was this ability to like find love but also compete against each other and subsequently get rid of each other as well. And if I'm recalling correctly, and either one of you speak up if you have more details about this, I feel like Johnny was one of these people that saw it as a game first and an opportunity for romance second. I believe he cycled between something like 5 or 6 different partners alone over the course of the season. He was branded a D-bag. He was branded a terrible person. I think he called himself the devil at one point. And unfortunately, he ends up finishing in second here, but becoming certainly one of the most memorable characters from his run on Love Island Games.
I think that's just how he operates.
Yeah,
and then like
that's his thing.
Love Island Games just felt like that was the setting to really lean into it. It's a game, and I hook up with people, and it's that combining my two favorite things. I think that I am very interested to see how Johnny operates in the game. That is a game first.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be full of young women that are going to throw themselves at him until they realize what a douchebag he is. So like I said, we always need a douchebag, and I think that if this is a fine choice, I think that
it's a fine choice.
Listen, he on his original season of Love Island, he, like you said, Mike, we didn't really get to see villain.
He was with Selly, who was like one of the big sweethearts of the season.
And I think that is also like part of the that's the heel turn is you wrong Selly, who is like the darling, one of the darlings of the Love Island USA franchise. That's when you've decided your path. And you know, I think he leaned very heavily into that path in how he conducted himself. And I'm the villain, I guess. And I don't know, I just think that it will be interesting to see how he does. I would love to see him want to have fun with it and not like in the ways that he's used to. Like, he's gonna have to be doing something different. I just don't want him to be boring because there's not a platform for him to be a villain in the way that he's accustomed to. That's my biggest concern, and my hope is that he can just be a menace in another way, or gets really into the gaming aspect of it.
Well, that's fair. You know, last season, you know, somebody who does really well in the game and is probably in like tangential to this archetype, Safari. He is known for his interactions with women. And so we didn't get a lot of Safari throughout the season. He was like there, but he wasn't giving us a lot of energy. We also seen Shake, who is known for his interaction with women. And that too was like, it's almost like a failed experiment with Shake, because Shake just he interacts poorly with everybody. But Johnny is, from what I've seen, I've done my research. I have not seen Love Island, but from what I can tell, Johnny is now in his villain era. He embraces it. You know, people were comparing it. I found a Reddit thread that actually said that Love Island season US 2 was his origin story, and then Love Island Games was his Empire Strikes Back. You know, so like, this man is a villain. He knows it. Now, can he harness it into game savviness? We will see.
All right. Well, you broke the news earlier that there is no $1 million prize on House of Villains, but that's no matter to this next person, considering that she at one point had $1 million in her possession, and Johnny had a brief appearance on the challenge. Let's talk about someone who has been more of a mainstay on the MTV franchise. It is Ashley Millionaire Mitchell, Chappell.
Cash Money Millionaire here. Cashly Mitchell. Cashly, she's awful sometimes. She's awful. Like, the thing about the people in the challenge is that they're outside their challenge interactions seep into the game a lot, and we get a lot of personal attacks and things of that nature that really make you kind of like wonder, like, why do y'all keep putting these people on TV?
I mean, it's wild because Ashley has a very storied history on the challenge, but she originally came from the real world, where she lasted all of like 4 episodes because during one of her many drunken tirades, she told Corey that she was so rich she could, quote, buy and sell his family.
Yeah, exactly. So this person is known for saying and doing things that are, you know, despicable in a way. Can she grow from that? Maybe. Who knows? We keep putting her on TV regardless. But the thing that Ashley Mitchell did the first time I ever laid eyes on this woman was she snatched that money. She snatched that $1 million away from that other guy who sucked worse than her.
He sucked.
He sucked.
He didn't threaten her family.
Yeah, Hunter was awful. And when I tell you, the joy I felt when I saw that woman say, no, I'm keeping the money, and she took that money from Hunter, I was like, okay, let's give her another shot. Maybe we should hear both sides of the Ashley Mitchell story. So yeah, she's a gamer. She likes to compete, and she is going to pop off at the mouth and say some things. Now, will these people be okay with that? Probably not. And that's why this is going to be fun to watch.
She's very layered, okay? She's complicated. Yeah. And she's about that cash. And I mean, she's had to do some really insane stuff for that payday.
True.
And you know, I think that we want to have people on this season that are actually going to get into the gaming aspect of it, whether it be really trying to win the challenges, wanting to strategize. We want there to be a fun balance of there being gaming, but also the ridiculousness of, you know, all of these people interacting, and how that all shakes out. And I really love this. If there was going to be a challenge representative on this season, listen, we had our obvious 2 picks in Johnny Bananas and Wes last season. And I'm really glad that we are now going to the women, and I think that this is a perfect represent. There's definitely other options in the challenge universe.
In the challenge, we could have a whole challenge season just called House of Villains, and
In
it
the
would
challenge,
be okay.
you could throw an egg at a challenge cast member, and chances are you hit someone who did something villainous in their TV career.
Or they'll do it tomorrow.
You know, she had a lots of little moments over her time in reality TV you can point to and say that's a villain. But she's also had like really endearing arcs, like so I do feel like she is a very interesting character, and she had one of the most iconic villainous moves in taking $1 million for herself and basically saying to her partner, fuck you, yeah, you helped me win this, you suck, you've said terrible things to me. Like, that is an iconic moment in challenge history, in reality TV history. And you know, I think that when we're looking at some of these other characters, we're looking at like, oh yeah, like this person gets into a lot of fights, oh like this person like is really good at like making cutting remarks about people. Like, she's had, you know, it's like being in an interview. It's like, give me the examples, point to the times you did these things. Like, what better thing can you point to than what she did when she won that season with Hunter, and then took the $1 million for herself, you know, making the name for herself, Millionaire Mitchell. I think, yeah, I'm really happy about her being on this cast as the representative from the challenge. And I'm like, her, like, someone like her and Kate and Christine, like, you could see like similar threads in some of these people, but you're like, are they gonna vibe, or are they gonna like butt heads? Like, what does this look like?
Well, the thing about Ashley that I think differentiates her from the other two is that, yes, I agree that what Ashley is most well known for, both from a villainy perspective and from a challenge career perspective, is her taking the money from Hunter. But there is also the Smashly of it all, which was the nickname referred to by Ashley due to the fact that there would get to certain points in her challenge career where, usually when inebriated, when Ashley was bothered or provoked, she would have a meltdown and simultaneously combust, catching everyone in her shrapnel. I remember it clear as day in the first season that she won. There was like a moment where Johnny Bananas, like, and everyone had a challenge where they had to eat like a bunch of like spicy chili. And so obviously the bathroom was a key luxury. And Johnny Bananas like took the toilet seat and put it out in the middle of a lake as a prank. And Ashley just she just unloaded and just went off. And
what, in the bathroom?
Yeah, exactly. From a gastrointestinal perspective. But like, there are people who, when provoked, will get cutting. Ashley gets explosive. And so I think it's a very different type of, again, mean girl response. I mean, she's still part of the Lavender Ladies, which is like one of the larger group of mean girls in the challenge. But if Christine and Kate try to rile up Ashley Mitchell, they will not get a similar type of response as if they were riled up. Ashley will
not Chrishell.
She will get aggressive, and she will get in your face.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
New York, you know what to do. You know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, it's almost like befitting of like a cast member of Flavor of Love, honestly. Back in the celeb reality days. All right. We had so much fun last season with bringing on a villain from the Drag Race universe in Candy Muse. And some say that Drag Race villains are a bygone character of the days of yore. But this person made everything old new again and made us say, Mama, kudos for that, for spilling the cast, Peacock. Because Plain Jane, Jenny, has made her way to House of Villains.
Okay, so this is my biggest fault in life, is that I have been forever daunted by the amount of Drag Race that I have never known where to start. And I have watched clips and montages, and I am so just drawn in by Plain Jane that I'm like, I need to watch the whole, like, I will before the season starts,
well,
because
season 16 is an incredible season of Drag Race without spoiling too much.
Good, because I'm glad that if I'm also going to do the full Plain Jane, like
the deep dive
preparation watch, the deep dive, that it's also going to just be like good seasons. But wow, this is a villain. I'm obsessed. I don't even know what to. Is this kind of character in the Drag Race world embraced, or are that's what I'm trying to figure out, because it's like, I do hardcore Drag Race people, what are their feelings on Plain Jane? Because what from the vacuum that I have gotten myself into, I am like, you would literally hurt my feelings so easily. I'm so baby, I'm so soft, but I'm also like, I can't stop watching. And she's almost like so likable in the way that she insults people. I don't know. I just I can't.
So yeah, here's the thing, and Chappell, feel free to like add in or disagree. The thing about Plain Jane, from my perspective, is that I think she was surprisingly well received for a villain on Drag Race. This was not a Fifi O'Hara situation where people were throwing acid in her face. I think it helps that she was not necessarily going up against like the fan favorite. This was not a Roxy Andrews situation. Plain Jane's main nemesis was a woman named Amanda? Yeah, who admittedly, was not the best with her makeup. And Plain, who I think is more so known for her villainous actions, like we talked about with a couple of cast members, of just being very blunt and open, saying a lot of the quiet parts out loud. She was very upfront from the very beginning of being like, yeah, I don't like your drag. Like, I think you need to work on your makeup, which again is something that is kind of unheard of in this modern day age of Drag Race, where, we're in our Emmy era. Everyone's all about being supportive of each other and building this on-screen family. Plain Jane was all about the hard truths and the constructive
criticism. Yeah.
But the other thing on top of that is that I think, especially in a talent competition like Drag Race, if you're gonna be mean, if you're gonna shit talk others, you have to have the shit subsequently to back that up.
Right.
And Plain Jane did. From the very beginning, with her stupid song Burger Finger, she cemented herself as one of RuPaul's favorites. Spoiler alert, she makes her way to the finale, wins a couple of challenges along the way, was one of the front runners of the season. And so I think that definitely helped a lot, was this sort of combination of her being kind of a breath of fresh air in the candor she was bringing to the show. The fact that her chosen ops were not necessarily the most popular people of the season, and it didn't feel like she was like punching down to anybody, and that she kind of had the goods to back up a lot of the claims she was making.
I watched a YouTube montage of Plain Jane because I'm not familiar with their work, and I was dying laughing.
Right?
One of the clips that I saw, she walks in the workroom and says, "I walked in the workroom and I was nervous until I saw the rest of you." I was like, "Yeah, that's good."
Oh, one of the best moments that really symbolizes her in a nutshell is they do this talent show in the opening episode, and one of the other queens does this like performance art piece where she holds up a sign at the end that says like "protect queer art," and Plain Jane says like, Is all queer art worth protecting? Because I don't know if this is.
Yeah. I also saw "You look a fool, doo-doo clown mess" as one of her insults to somebody.
I think it was gone.
Yeah. So I was like, man, this is crazy. Yeah. Plain Jane actually ended up getting roasted in a villain's roast on RuPaul's Drag Race. See, sitting next to House of Villains alum, Candy Muse. And so, it seems like we're in good company when we have Plain Jane here on our cast this season.
Yeah, I mean, sort of like bookend it. We have a couple other people to talk about with Tyson. If you're looking for someone who is going to be so incredibly cutting and insulting, especially in confessionals, Plain Jane will absolutely be that. But also, like Tyson, she has the courage to say that to people's faces too.
Yeah.
And so it's so much fun. We're slowly accumulating all of these sort of mean girls who are so cutting with their remarks. And so Plain Jane won't necessarily stick out because of that. Like, I don't think people are going to be like, well, Plain Jane's too mean, we got to get rid of her. If anything, it's just fuel added to the fire.
There's something to say about someone who's voted most likely to get blocked online by her cast, and it's Drag Race, considering they say mean things to each other for fun.
Yeah, but so the way that she communicates it though is like there's something just like really charming about it to me. I can't,
because it's so matter of fact, right? It's not necessarily done with an
Yeah.
amount of bite. It's just like, yeah, everyone knows that you kind of suck at this.
This is the friend that I want in my corner. You know what I mean? Like that's the person. If they ever turned that in my direction, I would absolutely crumble. But like, this is the bad bitch that I want behind me. That, you know, is going to come to my defense. And cut the hell out of someone when they deserve it. I have absolutely no idea what Plain Jane's interactions with any of these people will look like. But I'm in terms of a television character, with what I've seen, feeling very high hopes about it. And especially, you know, because it's not someone who hasn't been on TV in a really long time, and you know, might be like a little rusty and is, you know, maybe not sure of what they got themselves into on this. This very much feels like someone who's like knows what they're doing, knows the role that they play, and is ready to do it on a different stage. And I'm so okay with that. Like, I'm very excited.
So we finished things off with our final 2 cast members, who I would say cumulatively out of the 3 of us are probably some of the least known quantities in this group, but try we must to talk through what we know about these people. Let's talk about a Mob Wives star here. This is Rita Diavanzo, which is like the sound when you drop a can of ragu. But she is somebody from Mob Wives. She also is a friend of Big Ange. She was on her infamous spinoff. And I mean, true to, I guess, the show title, she has some connections with the mob. You know, her husband, who I believe they're separated now following his conviction, because, Jenny, he was the head of a mob family.
I mean, if you're gonna be on a show called Mob Wives,
gotta fit the bill.
Put up or shut up. And I'm just saying, like, if I'm reading your wiki page and I'm getting there's a you know, actual legal issues section because you truly were married to a mobster, that tells me like you represent yourself properly. I don't know anything about this woman. I just truly hope that she's actually entertaining. I feel like there's a lot of like bad bitch woman energy on this season. And so, you know, I don't know how someone like this fits in to this. I don't know.
She can get loud too. What the fuck? Like, I watched some clips, and this lady is a firecracker. Okay, you talk about Big Ange. They say that Drita and Big Ange are like hand in hand, the biggest personalities in Mob Wives when it first starts. And so I gotta see this. I gotta see this in action, because what I was watching, oh yeah, it's very Italian and very angry, and it comes in such a small package. And so this lady is going to be fun. Now, I hope it doesn't get to that point. Like, I want her to be a villain, but dear God, if it gets to the point where Drita got to stand up and we throwing hands, you know, we might need to step in and separate people. But I don't know. She seems like she's gonna be a good time.
We don't want anyone to actually go to jail because of this show. But like, you know,
it only
last
feels
season,
like a matter of time, if I'm being completely honest.
Last season, I think everybody had been to jail. So this time,
that's what I'm saying. Is like we had
Yeah.
Teresa last season, and you know, we saw her like discussing her prison stories with Richard Hatch, and ultimately, though, like Teresa, who had, you know, experience being that I can get loud too woman on the Real Housewives, I felt like didn't really show up. You know, we had the interaction with New York, but I just felt like New York was trying so hard to, like, you know, lure her and be like, let's have some fun, let's scrap. And Teresa wanted to be a hero in the House of Villains. And so but if this Drita woman is bringing an obviously different show, but like, I'm just saying, you similar energy. But I hope that it's like what we want. Like,
right.
Get loud too.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Go ahead, Chappell.
No, I was just gonna say that like I think that she stands out obviously as somebody who is like going to come in and not going to be afraid to make messes in the way that Teresa came in and basically was like, I'm Mother Teresa now. Like we literally got a montage of her being like, I don't do that no more. That's not me. I want Drita
The
to do
messes
the
she
opposite.
made was cooking meals for
Yeah.
people.
And that was it.
And mothering.
And that's it. And we can get some meals from Drita. But like I really want to see her kind of, be the villain that she is. I want to, it will be our introduction to her.
Instead of feeding us, we want her to eat.
There we go. I love it. Yeah. I love it. Well, last course here of the cast of House of Villains season 3. From what you both are saying, may have fit in more with the cast of season 2, considering my research says that as of a month ago, she may be facing like 10 years in prison.
Okay. All right.
Let's talk about Jackie Christie, Chappell.
They look, okay. Jackie is tied up with some fraud allegations right now, but she ain't in jail. Okay. If there was really a problem, she would not be able to go out and film House of Villains. That's okay. Right. So I think Jackie's stint in jail is exaggerated for sure. And I think that like depending on where you live, people will claim that this lady is getting life in prison. But Jackie Christie, this is the wife of Doug Christie, or as she would say it, I'm Jackie Marie Christie, Doug Christie's wife. I have companies, I have businesses, because I'm a boss. She was recently released from Basketball Wives after years of being one of the biggest personalities. And so now she's trying to branch out and find other things to do. And so I would not be surprised if we see her on other shows after this. Now, is Jackie a villain? Yeah, I'd say so. Because Jackie's gonna stir the pot. She's gonna stir the pot. She has the quotes. She's going up against some of the biggest personalities in Basketball Wives, like in this area, right? She's going up against some people who are like icons, and Jackie is somebody who the show people started to question if she's even gonna is the show even gonna be good anymore with Jackie gone because she's such a big personality. I think the show will be fine. But I think Jackie Christie could bring a lot to this television screen. And this is a fun pick because I could have never saw this coming. But now that she's not doing Basketball Wives, I think we got time.
Yeah. I mean, Jenny, this is the wife of the head coach of the Sacramento Kings, but she's ready to be a queen in the House of Villains.
I mean, I think that she's already decided that she's queen, which it's like what's going to happen. You can't walk into New York's house. This is her house and try to be the queen. We saw when Queen Victoria walked in last season and she tried to be queen. We have to remember whose house you're walking into. I don't know, but I love that this woman is down to scrap and speaks her mind. I hope don't approach this as like I need a new job. You know what I mean? Like I just want
I need to stave off a possible prison sentence. The more shows I appear on, the less likely they are to convict me.
It's like the Tom Sandoval redemption arc, but like for prison.
For criminal charges.
For criminal charge. Like, Your Honor, can I submit my performance on House of Villains season 3? Look how good I am. No fraud. Nothing fraudulent about this performance. This was truly me. Yeah, no, I trust everything I've read and heard about Jackie Christie and what she's about. And yeah, it's so hard to think about because like this cast is such a bizarre group of people that it's like who's gonna vibe with who. Yeah. Like, that's the biggest puzzle for me right now. Right. It's like, especially on the same day that we just got the Survivor 50 cast. And it's like, we've got like the red string connecting people. And like these are all people that many of them will have no idea who the other people are, which is really fun.
We don't have, unlike, unless we'll find out belatedly that there's another like Worst Cooks in America season. Like, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of crossover between the cast members this season.
No. I mean... Yeah, because we see often, like, in the 2 seasons of House of Villains that we've got, that the people who have experience doing competition reality TV, your Challenge, your Survivor, your Big Brother people, like, they kind of take the lead on, like, this alliance of, like, gamers. It's like also kind of, we see this in the Traitors as well, but I don't know, because, like, I'm not necessarily because there's always going to be someone that's like, that's not their background, but they're coming to play the game. They might link up with someone that has a little bit of competition reality TV background, and they run the table. I don't know. I just feel like I truly don't know how a season like this is going to play out. But that makes it fun.
Yeah, get these women some liquor. Stat.
Yes, please.
Like, we gotta get everybody. We gotta get everybody a little bit loose in the lips. They need to be out here saying what's on their mind. I don't want anybody in here coming in. Show. Right. We need. Yeah. Especially when Jenny and I are going to cover it, because it gets wild on the House of Villains recap over on the Hit or Quit podcast feed, aka the House of Villains feed. So yeah, I want all these people to loosen up and have a good time, and so we can see some of these big moments, because the women on this cast, I think, have the potential to just really change the game. I don't know what the men are going to do to keep up, but the women they seem like they're all going to deliver.
Yeah. Well, I feel punch drunk by the end of this, let alone the future inebriated cast of House of Villains. Again, this news came out of nowhere for all of us, but I'm so thrilled to get the chance to break this cast down, because I've seen a lot of stuff, maybe due to some understandable gripes we'll have with the cast of Survivor 50 being like, honestly, this might be the, more heralded cast release of the day on Wednesday, May 28th. And I had so much fun getting to hear about the past of all of these villains, to hopefully inform their presence that we will see in the future. It won't be until 2026 that Joel McHale and company will rear their heads as we get to see what happens in House of Villains Season 3. But until then, thank you both so much for breaking it all down with me right now. We'll go around the horn, give any plugs if there are any. Jenny, let's start with you.
Well, first of all, Mike, thank you again for having me on the Reality Flash. I've missed talking to you guys, and I did not expect that House of Villains Season 3 news was going to come up today, and it was such an unexpected surprise to have to, assemble the troops and talk about this. Such a joy. And summer is approaching, and I just, like, I'm getting a little, like, stir crazy. I don't know. I feel like it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since Chappell and I have done something together. We are chaotic. We love to have fun together. We love to hop on the mics and talk some shit together. And so I don't know what might happen in the coming weeks, but I feel it in my bones that Chappell and I need to get things together. So follow me on social media at Jenny Autumn. If anything's coming out, I'll let you know. And if Chappell's there, then we're all lucky. We're all lucky. But yeah, this has been really great. Thank you again. And I freaking can't wait for 2026 for House of Villains Season 3. So many unexpected, delightful surprises on this cast. I'm very pumped.
Very well said. Chappell, I know you got a lot going on at all times. What would you like to plug right now for the listeners?
Well, of course, you can go subscribe to the Nothing But Netflix podcast, where Sasha and I are talking about sneaky links over there. So if you want a messy reality show on Netflix, go check that out. We should have the full season review up on our YouTube page and on the Nothing But Netflix podcast feed on nothingbutpod.com. But Mike, one thing that I have been slowly disseminating throughout this reality TV community is that I am going to start a Flavor of Love rewatch. I'm going to do it on recapkickback.com, and I'm going to be inviting all my friends to come join me for episodes of Flavor of Love, and we're going to deep dive into the lore that is New York Tiffany Pollard. And so this is perfect timing to go ahead and leak that. So be on the lookout for an email or text from me when I ask y'all to come on, but also be on the lookout for the announcement, the official announcement from recapkickback.com, while we go in and start with the Flavor of Love universe, and then the I Love New York universe, and then the
the
Charm School universe, and then Rock of Love universe, and then I Love Money universe. We're gonna do it as long as we can. And so check that out. Subscribe, recapkickback.com/subscribe, or go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/@recapkickback.
I am so excited for that. I eagerly awaited Chappell like hottie at the microwave, waiting for that chicken to cook, even though it never did. You know where I'm at a Mike Bloom type. Obviously, as we have alluded to, it was a big day in the world of reality TV. Rob Cesarino and I got together this morning to break down the recently announced 24 castaways of Survivor 50. There were plenty of thoughts therein, and Rob and I got into it all. Also covering Survivor in the realm of the 25 greatest moments in Survivor history in honor of the 25th anniversary of Survivor. That series is starting a week from today. Next Wednesday, as we'll count down 5 at a time the moments that you all voted for as the 25 greatest across 48 seasons of Survivor, and plenty of more down the pike, including the reality flash. If there is news that pops up all of a sudden like this, you know what to do. Just tips at therealityflash.com. No spam, no solicitations. Be sure to send me any and all things you might be seeing from the world of reality TV so we can cover it here on The Reality Flash. And again, if you'd be so kind, unlike these villains, as to go to therealityflash.com, leave a rating, leave a review. I know we've been doing a lot of these big podcasts between the recent Big Brother news, between this House of Villains cast release. There's going to be maybe some more stuff to come as the summer wends its way down the line. So be sure to make sure that you are locked in so you do not miss an episode. That's going to do it for this episode of The Reality Flash. I'll return in your eyes and ears soon with more reality TV news that you need to know as it breaks. Thank you all, as always, so much for listening. Chappell, Jenny, thank you again for coming on, offering your always sterling insights. Until next time, everybody, you've just been Flash.